Hello everybody, GamerZ here, and I'm back with another video. I've been pretty inactive these past 2 weeks, and I do apologize for that. It's just I've been really busy with prepping for finals and doing the assignments that teachers seem to dole out the week before finals. I mean, come on, could you pick a better time to give 3 fucking assignments? In one class, that is. Now, I can't blame it all on my schoolwork. I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to assignments and such, but that also means I'm a procrastinator when it comes to making videos. I will admit that to an extent. I mean, come on, when you have only 2 hours to spare, what are you gonna do? Play video games or deal with cancer? Unfortunately, I kept choosing the former over and over and over again, and then 2 weeks went by. And then I was like, oh shit, I need to make a video. So here I am, dealing with Steve from Bits, Bytes, Bobs. I'm not gonna call you Steve, I'm gonna call him Bob, because I think he looks like a Bob.
PC Master Race is a group of die-hard PC enthusiasts that believe that they experience the best in gaming because they have better hardware than found in consoles and a wide range of games to play.
I mean, seriously, does he not look like a Bob? He totally looks like he'd be called Bob. Like, hey Bob, what's up? Anyway, that is his view on what the PC Master Race is. I don't think that's true at all. I would consider myself a part of the PC Master Race, but that's only because I favor the PC's ideals over the console's ideals. I favor freedom, I favor customizability, modability, the vast selection of games you actually get to have access to on PC. You don't get that on consoles. Now, of course, I don't have the best PC in the world. I mean, what can $450 get you, right? Though it surprisingly got me a build that can play games at 60 FPS, 1080p high settings, and I'm totally okay with that. That is exactly what I was looking for. It sure stomps any console you can throw at it, and it even has a chance against the Xbox Scorpio. Now see here, Bob, there's a difference between being a fanboy and being a supporter of a certain idea. What I look for in gaming is 60 FPS at the minimum, 1080p at the minimum, open-sourced freedom and customizability, a vast library of games, and other small details like graphics, for example. All of these gaming ideals are met only by the PC. Consoles can't do any of this. Gaming is an industry of its own right, and I believe that it's best to be pro-consumer rather than pro-corporation. But the difference between us and fanboys is that fanboys will support a platform. They will not support ideals. They will not have their own ideals and then pick a platform that supports their own preferences and ideals. Not only that, but console fanboys are also ignorant to the fact that the corporations that make those consoles are closing the platform. They're also closing the market, which gives the consumer less of a choice and less options. See, we have reasons that we like PC. They just like consoles.
Groups like the PC Master Race, Exponers and Sony Ponies all like to hate on one another.
I guess old man Bob wants to fit in with the youngins. I wonder if he knows what Exponers and Sony Ponies really mean.
But does the PC Master Race have good reason to be so full of themselves?
Yeah, the simple answer is yes. We do everything the greatest, we're the best people on earth, and fuck those console peasants. Also, we all have dicks so large that we're able to shove it straight up our ass whenever we want to. Come to think of it, I feel pretty full of myself right now. Get it?
Or at the end of the day, are they just trying to make themselves believe that the $800 for the GPU they bought was an intelligent purchase?
Wow, that's one hell of a generalization. You really think we all spend $800 on our GPU alone? Fuck off.
Hey guys, I'm Stu from 3B.
No, we've already established this. Your name is Bob.
And I'm about to poke the wasp's nest. Pokey pokey.
Over 350 dislikes. Yeah, that's a lot of wasps.
Ever thought of subscribing to something just for the hell of it?
No, because then the home screen would just be full of nothing. Full of just garbage channels like yourself.
Or because you are a geek, a gamer, love tech, TVs, gadgets, and learning how to get the most from them?
And getting the most from your $800 GPUs? Hell yeah.
Do you? So if you don't care either way and just love clicking stuff, then go and click the subscribe button. It's nice. Each click will give an angel its wings. No, wait, that's the bell. That's it, yeah. Each click on the bell will give an angel its new wings, or something like that. Who cares? Go on, just click them.
Why do people do this? Why do people beg for subscriptions when you obviously haven't earned it yet, unless you're arrogant enough to think that you've won anyone over with just your thesis alone? That was 25 seconds of my life wasted, even though all I wanted to do was watch the content of your video, not you begging people to subscribe just because they have nothing better to do. So get on with it, please. I don't have all day here. I mean, I probably do. I have all the time in the world. I'd just rather play video games.
So anyway, as geeks and gamers, we know of the PC master race, right? Myself, both as a console owner on all platforms, and also having in the past spent silly amounts of money on a PC gaming rig, we are, as a collective, very aware of the somewhat caustic group called the PC master race.
How are we a caustic group? How? Oh, you just mean everyone with an internet connection. Right, gotcha. Personally, I don't find it the least bit surprising what people would say behind a screen. And that goes for console peasants too.
Now these people have spent a lot, if in some cases all of their money on a PC to make sure that they are the pinnacle of every gaming experience.
No, not all of us. PC Master Race again centers around the ideals of a good gaming experience. Freedom, customizability, cheap games, a vast library of games, free online, powerful hardware, and so on. The console offers jack shit. The one thing a gaming console can do right is move pixels on a screen by the will of the controller. So of course, if you're a casual gamer and you haven't defined a lot of ideals for gaming, then yeah, of course that console will meet your poorly set ideals. That is, if you want to support paying for online on an internet connection you already own, on a console you've already bought with a game you've already paid for. Or perhaps you support the idea of a closed platform, something you've bought but you can't necessarily use to every extent that you can use a PC for. Or maybe you support the idea of dividing gamers based on the games that they can and can't play. Again, we're talking ideals here, buddy, not just about the console. And for all intents and purposes, the PC meets the needs of the gamers way more than a console does. And that, Bob, is the way of the PC master race.
But are they? Could the PC master race be dying and not experiencing anything any different from you or I on a console?
Are you fucking serious right now? Are you kidding me? Are you seriously implying that there's no difference between having a PC and having a console? Because if that's your argument, Bob, then you are way off target. Should I even spend the time to list the differences? No, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I don't have the time for it. I'd rather play video games.
Here's the thing. I've owned both a very high-end PC for VR on the Vive last year.
Straight off the bat, one of the differences between a PC and a console is its power.
And have all the consoles. I've played and enjoyed games both on PC and on console.
I have too, and let me tell you, I've enjoyed my games far more on my PC than I have on any of my consoles. Not just because I like my PC way more, but also because PC objectively meets every single one of my ideals far more than a console can. And I believe that a good gaming experience comes from what the PC can offer, not from the console.
Now, the amount of money I've spent on the gaming rig was never really justified, even when I was producing video and music on them. I still struggle to believe that there really is justification for such powerful hardware just for games.
But here's the thing, Bob. People on the PC can buy parts that suit their own ideals. If they want to produce 60 FPS 1080p recordings, they're probably going to spend a little bit more than people like me who don't record gameplay as often. And let me tell you, if I had a better PC that can record 60 FPS 1080p at any game that I throw at it, I would be recording almost every day.
When playing a game on console, granted at a lower resolution with lesser graphics than a PC, the experience for me on console was more involved due to having a larger screen and the better sound and simply just ease of use.
Okay, so you like consoles more. First of all, I'm sorry for being a larger screen and better sound and being easier to use. Oh boy, these are the worst fucking reasons to ever choose a console over a PC. First of all, did you know you can hook up your PC to your TV and get that large screen thing that you like? That's not a console inherent pro. No, no, no. That's not something a console gives you. A console gives you shitty performance for $250. A console gives you 720p at sometimes 30 FPS. A console gives you paid online, a paywall to access the online features which you can get for free anyway with a PC. A console gives you no options, no customizability, and no freedom. You can't change jack shit about your console regardless if you want to or not. A console does not give you the ability to use your TV with your console. That is not a console privilege, okay? I can do the same thing with my PC. In fact, I can also hook up my console to my monitor, which is something I strongly advise doing due to the lack of input lag on monitors. Your other reason, sorry, this is too fucking funny, is better sound. And I'm assuming you have a sound or stereo system with your TV. Guess what? You can hook that shit up with your PC as well. So if you really wanted to play on your PC hooked up to your TV and hooked up to your sound system, by all means you can do that. That is not a console privilege. Also, Gramps, this isn't 1960, nor is this 2001. It's almost been 20 years since the 21st century. Computers can do way more things way easier. Hell, if you really need to, buy a pre-built, but it's really not that hard to put Legos together, would you say? I'd even argue it's easier than using Legos because Legos is all up to your imagination. Whereas putting a PC together, there are literally holes to plug these components into, and there's only 7 of them. And it takes 30 minutes to put together. Tack on an extra 15 minutes to watch a how-to video, and you're good to go. That's 45 minutes of your time. Please don't go off and tell other people how hard using a computer is. It's not. It's fucking child's play.
Whilst these games, sometimes the same game that I owned on PC too, for instance this Forza, I failed to see the difference in graphic quality whilst playing them.
Yeah, because you don't know how anti-aliasing, anisotropic filtering, ambient occlusion, and probably post-FX affect your game. Of course, you can't tell just by looking what the texture and shader and shadow and reflection quality all are, but when you look at a side-by-side comparison between the PC port and the console port, the PC port's gonna tend to look better. Way better. I mean, to me, it's a black and white difference. I've played GTA 5 on my PS3, and on an Xbox One, and on my PC, and I can tell you the PC version looks way, way better than the other console ports. I can say this with Shadow of Mordor, too. And, well, actually a lot of the multiplats that I own on PC. I'm sensing a trend here, because PC hardware is way more powerful than that of the consoles, as well as the fact that you can get mods and shader mods for your games on the modding community. I mean, games can look real purty on the PC.
I failed to see the difference in graphic quality whilst playing them. Then when playing the same game on a PC at a higher resolution with better textures, I just couldn't see the difference, not once.
Okay, if you've actually experienced both, you must be blind. I mean, you must be blind. This is Mr. $450 computer here talking. You must be blind. Because I don't know what else to say here. I don't get it. I don't know how you can't see the difference between high graphical quality and low graphical quality. I just don't get it. You even acknowledge the lower graphical quality and the lower resolution that you get on console, and you still can't tell the difference. You are a tech channel, no? Really? Are you serious? You're a tech channel and you can't tell the difference between high graphical quality and low graphical quality as well as low resolution that consoles give you. You must be out of your fucking mind.
Not once did I stop and think that I wish that I was actually playing that same game on PC.
There are a lot of reasons to pick the PC version over the console version, but I suppose to each their own.
So why bother with a PC? True, VR games on PC, because of the hardware requirements, are much better and currently better served on PC. I get that.
So strike one for consoles.
There are certain hardcore gamers and professional gamers that require a high-end PC, and they compete generally just playing one particular game.
Yeah, because professional gamers only play one specific game that they're good at, because that's what being a gamer's all about. No, Bob. The reason that they're gamers is because they like playing video games as a hobby, even professional gamers. I know, contrary to public opinion, I suppose. But why would they take an interest in gaming if they only play one specific game all the time? I would consider myself a hardcore gamer, and I have a specific obsession with CSGO, and I love that game, and people who have followed me for this long know that. But just because I am a diehard CSGO fan doesn't mean I don't play anything other than CSGO. Hell, I even played Trove for the past few days. I've played Dead Cells, well, just go and check my Steam profile, actually, it's all there. I'm not gonna spend much more time on that. I want to get to play the video games. I want to know the way.
Because of the nature of the control of those games, I can see how that is better served on PC with a keyboard and a mouse.
Strike 2 for consoles. I'm wondering if we're gonna get a strike 3.
I understand that, but I feel that for you, the casual gamer, the everyday gamer, it's not so important than using a controller in your hand, getting slightly lower quality textures and checkerboarding, or sometimes even true 4K at 30 to 60 FPS.
You know, I recently did a video on Colt Eastwood, and he couldn't provide any games in the background that were at true 4K 60 FPS. And you'd think if it was all that common to have 4K 60 FPS, true 4K 60 FPS, mind you, that he would show that in the background and say, you know, this game plays at true 4K 60 FPS, true 4K 60 FPS. That entire video he was saying things like 90% of 4K, 2K, upscaled 4K, all kinds of other shit other than true 2160p. And it's still not the case either if you don't have a 4K TV, so don't even bring that up. And also, you brought up lower quality again. Should I count that as a strike 3? Fuck it, strike 3.
It's not so important than using a controller in your hand, getting slightly lower quality textures and checkerboarding, or sometimes even true 4K at 30 to 60 FPS, is enough for most of us.
See, good gaming ideals are being confused by ignorant scrubs like you who want to just settle for less. This is why Microsoft is still charging people to play online. This is why Sony jumped on the bandwagon in 2013 and did the same thing. This is why Nintendo is now doing the same thing on their Nintendo Switch. Do you see a pattern here? You casual scrubs are making people confused as to what gamers want, okay? Gamers, at least on the PC, and this is why the PC Master Race is so important, the PC Master Race supports good ideals for gaming. 60 FPS as the standard, 1080p or higher as the standard. No loot boxes, no microtransactions, no charging $60 fucking for every game on the market. They support freedom, modability, customizability, open source nature. I don't know, maybe this is why people say that AAA developers tend to target the console audience, because the console audience are more likely to eat up the pieces of shit that these people will develop. It's a simple money grab. Then when they port it over to the PC, the people who have the higher standards, they have to beef up the game to look nice for people on the PC to even consider buying the game. This is why Ubisoft tends to upscale the graphics of their E3 trailers. They want to get PC gamers on the hype train just to disappoint them with a shitty looking game. Call us caustic all you want, Bob. But the thing is, we're promoting good gaming ideals that developers should always follow. Developers should always live up to the standards that gamers want, which is good performing games that look good in 2018 without ripping consumers off and snatching consumers' money away with things like DLC, cut content, microtransactions, loot boxes, all sorts of dumb shit. Not only is it a pro-gamer movement, the PC Master Race is also pro-consumer. And it's important to remind you, we're not worshipping the PC as a platform. We just have ideals and standards that the PC lives up to, that the consoles don't. And because of our passion for gaming and because we have these ideals, we support the platform that supports our ideals.
So consider also that games are developed primarily for the console market.
What'd I tell you, see? You guys are just casuals being milked for money by corporations. Notice not a lot of indie games get released on console, mainly because indie means don't go to Microsoft and pay them a shit ton of money just to publish your game on their, console. But also because the indie games that are being developed are often rejected by the console gaming community because it's deemed shitty. Again, y'all are casual gamers. You want the same shit that the AAA developers keep telling you that you want. Hey, here's a new Battlefield. Hey, here's a new Battlefront. Hey, here's a new Call of Duty. It's the same shit over and over and over again with no innovation, no risk, because they know that you are going to buy the product regardless, because they are going to milk the money out of you because you are a casual gamer who doesn't take gaming seriously. It is an industry. And with that being said, there are a lot of corporations that think they can just milk money out of their consumers by doing dumb little shit. There's no reason to spend so much more money for online, for $60 a game, for microtransactions, cut content, DLC. And there's also no reason to defend consoles even though they are objectively inferior in every way. You have not come up with a single reason to buy a console yet over a PC. A single reason. And yet you support these inferior gaming machines, but for what? To support a corporation? A gaming PC nowadays is what everything a console is and better, even at the same price. Consoles nowadays are rendered basically irrelevant, but these corporations are going to try to keep making new consoles with the added one benefit, for example, the Xbox One Scorpio, where they go, well, maybe you still don't have, free online, and, maybe you still pay $60 for the game, and yeah, the console's $500, but hey, at least you sometimes get somewhere close to 4K, because we're making close to 4K at 30 FPS at okay graphics, the new standard. Even though they still haven't taken out the paid online, and they still haven't lowered the prices of their games, and they still haven't opened their platform to where customizability or anything, it just shows you how much money they want, and there's no reason to give them any money if you have a better product that you can choose from.
Therefore, it's all well and good having amazing textures, but given the majority of games are on console, and that's the focus.
Wait, what?
Given the majority of games are on console.
No, I'm not even going to waste my time. That's just flat out wrong. Steam alone has way more games than every console combined, and that's not even counting any games from GOG, from, the old days where they were all hard disk, any of the games from GameJolt or the itch.io client. Nope, not counting any of that. Steam has way more games than any of the current gen consoles. You do not want to fight that battle, Bob. You might break a hip.
The developer is not going to push those textures or create scenes and dynamics that require an NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti, for instance. So developers will always develop for the main market and their biggest profit center.
Yeah, of course they're going to keep developing for you. You are a no-risk market, okay? They can keep giving you dog shit and you'll keep buying it. Because you don't care about the quality of the game. You just care that, oh, I can move fucking pixels on a screen. That's cool. I'm gonna buy it. Hey, this new Call of Duty came out and it's from the same publisher. They've made cool games in the past. I'll call them a AAA developer and I'm gonna buy their game because it's the same shit that I like. Where nothing has changed. It's the same mechanics the entire way. There's no innovation. There's no risk. And I'll just buy the game again, and again, and again, and it's got cooler weapons and shit. Not only that, but they know you're very weak-willed, enough so that you would buy a console just to play one or two games that you can't play on the PC. This is what's called an exclusive deal. This is a shitty business practice that we on the PC Master Race detest. But people like you don't give a shit. You're too casual to care about the whole gaming community. No, because you don't take this passion seriously. I guess that's not a problem, but you are confusing developers, and you're making them money. You are making them money by dividing the gaming community, and by releasing the same non-impressive shit year after year after year. Again, no problem with people who like moving pixels on a screen in their downtime. But come on, really? You can't bother to be at all entertained by the idea that a community, an entire community, is suffering because of your ignorance and your willingness to buy an entire console for a game, to pay $60 for a game, to pay $60 a year for online. None of this shit is clicking for you, really. And even when people try to give you a better way to play games, a more cost-efficient way to play games, and a way to play them at 60 FPS high settings at high resolutions, you just turn around and you call them caustic. You call them toxic, and you ignore them, and you discredit them, and you won't listen to the fact that what you're doing, playing on consoles, is kind of fucking up the way that developers nowadays are making their games. Consoles, inherent of being a console, is fucking up the gaming industry. Because we've got people like you, who even though consoles have no relevance today because they're outdone by PC in every single way, we've got people like you, casuals like you, that decide that they want to defend console gaming. For what? A corporation. Because that's what fanboys do. They like familiarity. They like the easiness that it is to move pixels on a screen with a controller. And there are fair reasons to get a console. I will give it that. There are fair reasons. But they're all completely and totally subjective. And there's no reason to support console gaming for subjective reasons. There's no reason to bash PC gaming and then give subjective reasons why console gaming is better. And quite frankly, a lot of it is misinformation.
Now, granted, consoles are holding back development of games by a good margin.
So it did click for him, but he's still going to defend consoles.
But they are catching up. You know, we've got the PS Pro and we've got the Xbox One X coming out in November. But yes, they're still a few years behind.
Even though upon their own release, they're still 2 years behind. 4K has been affordable for a long time now on PC, and they're just now catching up. Granted, you did make this video 2 months before the Xbox Scorpio came out, but if you were to look at it today, it's almost 4K, at almost 60 FPS, and it may sway you to console gaming, yeah, but keep in mind that the almost 4K and almost 60 FPS is the Xbox One X's only benefit. Everything else the PC does better, and if you're not a resolution dude, well, don't get an Xbox One X.
And of course, in an ideal world, we'd all be running 1080 Ti's and the developers would be developing for one single platform and the leaps in games would be enormous. However, we live in a world where usually it's the weaker systems that have the market share because of the cost comparative is so great.
That is a lousy excuse. My PC, all new parts by the way, cost $450, and it can play any game that I throw at it at 60 FPS 1080p high graphical settings. And what I'm gaming at is the standard. Like, I'm gaming right at the standard. This is something at least every game should be able to do on every platform. And I'm glad you brought that up too. You know, without consoles, we would be innovating in gaming. We would be innovating in technology because these companies aren't going to be trying to compete with each other with years-old hardware and years-old ideologies. Okay? Consoles are no longer family machines. They're being developed as, personal use machines nowadays. Hell, according to Co-Optimus, PC has more co-op games than the Xbox or the PS4. So you can't really use that as an objective reason anymore. But still, they still try to compete with each other, and it's slowing the industry way down. Also, we've got those shitty developers making those shitty games for the no-risk market, the same game over and over again, just seemingly remastered. Consoles are just not relevant today.
And this leads to developers concentrating on those because that's where their profit is.
Yeah, sadly. Even though a lot of the exclusives on consoles are coming to PC now anyway. So that argument holds no water anymore.
Is the PC master race dead? Well, of course, not yet, But I think their argument of having a better experience is games are varying less and less these days. It's hard to justify the cost, no matter how well off you are, to build a rig just for playing games when you can get a near identical experience, if not in many cases a better experience, on a console costing half the price of a high-end GPU.
Near identical or better experience. Oh my god, he doesn't know what's going on today. Put your glasses on, Gramps. You'll probably see the better textures. If not, get a new prescription. There's a reason why console is half the price of a decent gaming PC. You know, like mine. It's because it runs at piss-poor performance, at piss-poor resolutions, and it's super closed platform. There's no customizability, no modability. There's no library of games on console anymore. Even though they still keep trying to remake the same game over and over, it's still not helping. And if you really consider it, if you pay $60 a year for online, and then you also pay for $60 games on average, then eventually you're going to be ending up paying way more than I did up front for my PC. In essence, you save money on the PC. Sure, you spend a little bit more up front, but over time you get that money back.
Many of the great games are exclusive to console and half the time never ever come out for PC.
Not anymore. Xbox has no exclusives, and PS4 is getting there.
Or if they do, it's many years later.
We don't have a problem waiting for games to get a better product. That, and it unites the gaming community, one game at a time.
There will always be a market for high-end gear, as much as there is a market for people wanting to be better in anything in life. You know, to have the best car, for instance, or computer console, and the same can be applied to smartphones, you name it. So the PC master race is ironically somewhat blind of the truth that the money they spend is not actually serving them as well as they'd like.
What do you mean? Someone who drops $1,000 on their PC is instantly outperforming the Scorpio, first of all, and secondly is having a way better gaming experience than you, than me, than a lot of other gamers. And it's all up to them, really, so who are you to tell them how they should be spending their money? The more they spend on PC, the better their gaming experience, and it all depends on how passionate they are about gaming. It is a hobby, and it can be very spendy at times for people who really like their hobby. But why are you, as a tech channel, telling them that the more they spend on their PC, the less return they're getting back from it? I think the one blind here is you. I'm not a tech channel, but I sure know the difference between low-end hardware and high-end hardware. And the main difference is price. I recently picked up drones as a hobby, and I can tell you again, the more expensive drones are the better ones. All depends on how passionate you are about flying drones.
Which leads to the diehards, the bile-spouting sorts that are vindictive, foul-mouthed, and full of hate. We see them all the time.
But that's not the nature of the PC. That's the nature of the internet, and that's the nature of anonymity. Also, fuck off. You haven't seen channels like JTech TV, Crap Gamer, The Rated D, and so on.
And I get it. You guys are upset. You believe you have something better. You kind of do, technically. But if that's the case, and if what you own is so good, why are you probably in the comments section below now giving me, and probably many like me, grief for pointing out something that is quite well documented and achingly true?
I can't recall a well-documented true fact that you've said in this entire video. I don't know, maybe I've got the memory of a rabbit, but I can't remember a single instance where you said anything even remotely true. Oh wait, there was one. Consoles were holding back the industry, that was one. Yeah, I can't remember anything else. Internet, help me out. Put what I missed in the comment section below.
That actually, you guys are not quite so special after all. The games you have are not that unique, and yes, you blew a lot of money on something that could be better served at half the price.
Oh, that's your fact. Well, as a tech channel, that should really discredit you because that's a false fact. PC is objectively more powerful and can give you more graphical quality. It can play at higher frame rates, it has cheaper games, it has free online, customizability, freedom, modability, indie games, innovation, and so on. And all of these advantages can be yours for only 450 bucks or less. This is a console-crushing machine right here next to me. Consoles are irrelevant with this machine right here in existence.
My name is Stu.
It's Stu. No, it's Bob.
You've been watching 3B, and I'm quite sure this video is going to get a lot of hate.
And I'm pretty sure it's because of the caustic behavior of the PC Master Race. Anyway, that's the end of this video. So it has been quite some time since my last upload, and I do apologize for that. I should have been a little bit more active, but I have been putting off making a video simply because I've had, assignments and shit, and I kind of wanted to get video games into the picture for a while, and so I hope that's pretty understandable. But after next week, once finals are over, things should be pretty back to normal with my upload schedule once a week. And I should also be a little bit more active with you guys if you guys wanted to play a game with me or chat with me on Discord. But yeah, I keep thanking you guys for your patience, and it's not okay. I need to stop being like this. I need to be a quick little hare and upload videos. I need to be a good little hare and stop playing all those damn video games and just upload like once a week. Jeez, how hard is that for you, gamer? Can't even stick to a schedule. What a noob. Yeah, I apologize. Anyway, thank you so much for your patience and your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.
Yummy.